this is like the 4th time I'm trying this. So I think it's, oh, this thing's broken. Oh gosh. It's broken. All right, it's time for a little Palo Santo. I think it is definitely. These are from Judy Bullock. Thank you so much, Judy. I really appreciate it. If you did not see, I'm going to write your name, Emily Pike. If you did not see my video that I did a 50-minute video. I think it was a live. It has all the background information about Emily Pike. You'll have to watch that if you don't know anything about it. I'm not going to keep on repeating myself because I'm losing the light every second. So I just wanted to light a little bit of this and make my space sacred because my car was broken into. So I'm freaked out about it because my car is my safe space, and I didn't feel safe for a couple of days. And then I said, I'm not going to let them win. I'm not going to let them win. I'm not going to let somebody that was looking for guns take my place that I feel is sacred, that I look for the missing, that I try to do collective reads, and that I just do my sit and talks. I'm not gonna let them win. I took a couple of days of reflection. I couldn't even talk about it, but now it's time to talk about not me or my car, but Emily Pike and who took her life. Okay, so I also have videos that I'm gonna transfer, little 10-minute videos that I'm gonna transfer from TikTok to YouTube. So don't worry if you say, well, Katrina, I like watching you, but I don't go on TikTok. So that's fine. I'm gonna transfer them over. And it's just more of this, but it's the beginning of this. So now I'm just gonna finish. So I see that this man, this killer, and that's what this person is. Sorry if you don't like what I said. I'm not monetized anyway. I've been trying to get it, and I worked on it for hours today, and I'm just done. I'm just done with it. It just doesn't seem like it's in the cards for me. So, and that's fine. When I worked for the missing, they didn't like that meditation music that I had for Emily on my last video, and they gave me a copyright strike for it. But they said it's a copyright claim and just that it can't be monetized. But I was like, I haven't been monetized so far. I haven't made 1 penny. So anyhow, but I needed that music. I needed that music because that's the way, that's what opens up my third eye. And also Emily was telling me to use it. Okay. So, and of course being in the car, I used to be able to play my iPad and have music in the background and do my phone. But for some reason, that doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work, so only if I'm home. Oh, that's a little bit sad, disappointing, but, So it was a lot of things in my life, okay? All right, so what I was saying at the end of the last video was that Mesa, Arizona is where she was found. Highway 60 North, Forest Hill. I also feel like there's something buried that they might find, that they did like a shoddy investigation. No offense, this is my opinion, allegedly. But there's a shoddy investigation. There's a whole cover-up going on. Do I feel like it's trafficking gone wrong? Partially. Do I feel like it could be serial killer? Yes. I feel hot on that. Sometimes, you know, I'll feel like it's like, oh, this was a mistake and it was accidental and cover up. I'll feel that way. But this, I felt like this person has either done this before or done SA before, attempted to do things before, and will do it again. That's why this person has to be found. And also there's another person involved, and in my first video I described the bald guy. He's a separate guy, where I feel like she's taken to a place. And at first, when she's first in the car, and they have to drive for an hour and a half, I believe, and they do, I think they go and get something to eat, like they give her food, and when this is happening, she still feels like, I'm going to get to my destination, I'm going to get to where I need to go. But when it goes so long, she's like, they're setting me up. And she keeps telling me, Katrina, let my mom know that I did try to run. Let my mom know that I did fight. I did fight as much as I can, as hard as I can. And I told her, in my head, in my heart, I told her, your mom knows that. Okay. So, yeah. Foster children, group home, medical, or behavioral. So for 1 year she was in, what I say in the other videos is that when she was 12, she was SA'd by somebody, a family member, okay? Somebody in her family, a relative. And she called the cops herself, and they found her standing on a mountain without a shirt on. And they did arrest the person, and then the person got right out of jail. Okay, so instead of that person going away, that person got out of jail, and Emily was sent away. And of course she had, psychiatric issues, and I think she was bipolar. So she had to go to a behavioral center. For a whole year she was at a behavioral center. Then she went to the group home. And she goes, Katrina, you know where I wanted to be. I wanted to be back with my mom and my little brother. Why was Emily living in a group home? I just talked about that. And yeah, there's a lot of question marks. Also, the mother had or has an addiction issue, and the father's in prison. But she did live with the mother, the grandmother, and several aunts and uncles, I believe, and her little brother. Okay. So, offered a ride. She doesn't take it at first. Run to someone. She wanted to go to talk to this boy that she was learning guitar. I don't get the young person's involvement, the young boy's involvement. I feel like that's a total separate person, a total separate issue. Like, were they trying to get him involved? But I feel like this girl that was in the car in the ride, with the ride, really set her up. And she has her own problems. She has her own issues, but she might be of age. She might be like 17, 18. Which that's not of age, but still. Yeah. So, father's in prison. Mother struggles with addiction and alcoholism. Something about August 2nd. I'm just trying to read through these notes, and then I'm going to do my other notes that I have. And they've been on my table, and I really wanted to get back to it, but crazy stuff has been happening in the house, so I could not do it. Let me just turn off my air for a while. Okay. I had like 2 people watching me. This guy pulls up on a motorcycle, sees me still sitting here. Hopefully they don't send the cops. But the point of a ritual came up, like a ritual with her ancestors. Is it a setup? Yes, definitely a setup. Like somebody, in other words, somebody knew she was gonna jump out the window and run to go somewhere. She told somebody, or somebody knew. Like there's gonna be communications, but it's being covered up. Okay, but thank God the FBI is on it. That doesn't always mean that we're gonna get the result. There's a lot of cover-ups going on, and I kept hearing Apache. What's the difference between the Apache and the Navajo? Because I kept getting Navajo with her, but I know she was from the Apache reservation. But Navajo, the beef between Navajo and Apache, from the research that I did, because I said, is it important? They kept saying it. When they say it more than twice, I look up research. And so they said, was land, the beef between Navajo and Apache was about land and water. And I was like, well, what does that have to do with Emily? And they were like, it's like an ancestral thing. It's like a generational thing. But yeah, so I have so many questions, but I'm just going to report what I hear. Yeah, so was it a ritual? No, I feel like it was a straight up like Psycho. Psycho, of course, person that visited that place, that maybe even lived there in 2012. Remember I said in my first reading, around 2010, 2012, he might have lived there himself. And he's acting kind of like a big brother type of thing, or almost like I could be a boyfriend type of thing, but I'm a man. Because remember I said he's like in his late 20s, but he could also be in his 30s, and he could also be up to 40. But when people have trauma themselves, or they are psychopath, right? Psychologically, there's something wrong with them. They have a couple of personalities. They can actually take on the characteristics of a child. They could take on the characteristics of a teenager and get along very well with teenagers, almost look like a teenager. They morph into, especially sociopaths, they morph into the personality of the person that they're trying to get to like them, so that they can overpower them, okay, and manipulate them. So, you know, if she's into guitars and music, he's going to be into guitars and music. If she's into, you know, her heritage as an Apache, he's going to talk about his heritage as Navajo, but I don't believe he is. I feel he has the high cheekbones, he has the brown eyes, but I feel like he looks like he blends into them, but maybe he's half and half. Maybe he's half and half. Maybe he has a little percentage, or some percentage. Whatever it is, he is identifying with these young girls to kind of, you know, endear himself with them. You know what I mean? Okay, so think about a ritual type of thing. Think about, is it a setup? Yes, I get a yes, and I feel very hot on that one. Ritual, I'm like 50-50. Group home, yes. Heavy woman, I got a heavy woman, or a heavy set woman that has answers. I don't know if she's guilty, but I feel like something under the table, because they just showed me under the table. Something under the table. I look like I'm up here. I look like I'm so sweet, and, you know, would never hurt a fly, but under the table might be a different story. I need money. The heavy set lady, okay? I almost pointed to myself because I'm heavy set. Okay, so taking kids and teens, women and boys. Yes, so this thing that's going on, But I just feel like, I still feel like more of a serial killer, but the reason why things have been covered up is because it has to do with why has 30 women gone missing. But I don't know, you hear different stories. You hear 30 women, 30 young girls went missing from that group home. Then the group home gets on the news and says, oh no, that's not right. That means 30 girls ran away, but then we got them back. What's the truth? Somewhere in the middle. But especially indigenous women and children have been going missing, and never seen again. Or if they're seen again, they end up like Emily. So it has to be dealt with. So who's taking the kids? Who's taking the teens, the women, the boys? The authority figures are going down like Diddy. I was so happy when I got that. Okay, I'm writing on all different types of pieces of paper because that came in, and like I'll just get like a group of words. I don't know what they mean. What is the authority figures? That's who's in charge. That's the cops. And I believe whoever checked out her SA situation, it wasn't even the police, it was the Fishing Commission, because that's who checks things out. So everybody's burying things. And look at this poor girl. There's blood on a lot of people's hands, not just the serial killer. Okay. Let me just get that again. Taking kids, teens, women, and boys. The authority figures are going down like Diddy. What happened to Diddy? Diddy did a lot of bad things, allegedly. Right? When you they just showed me a whole bunch of bricks, right? That game, I forget what that game is, that you put all those like different bricks, not bricks, pieces of wood this way, that way, Django, I think. And you take one, Emily is one, another girl is another, a little boy, another body will be found, a woman, and Emily could be the one that the whole thing comes down. But there's going to be a lot of people trying to hide it. There are a lot of people trying to hide it, okay? In my opinion, allegedly. I could be wrong, but what if I'm right? Emily just said that's right, Katrina. Okay, so she keeps on telling me something about a white feather. I don't know if she wants me to make it, but a white feather, but a pink feather too. She goes, you have to pair that with a white feather. That's good. She goes, I know you like that, but the pink feather too. So I don't know if that means something, but I know she likes pink and she likes Hello Kitty. Okay. All right. So I can't hold that and read these at the same time. So the SA happened to her in 2023. So she was only 12. And they find her behind the hill or standing up on this hill. One hill was in front of her, one hill she's on top of it. And the relative got no charges, 0 charges. Tribal Game and Fish. Okay, that's who investigated that. The Tribal Game and Fish. So I guess apparently out there, when you live on a reservation, they tribal game and fish, like the police don't come, but the tribal game and fish come. I don't understand that because I'm not Native American, but maybe if somebody knows this, explain that to me. I'm gonna do more research on it. San Carlos PD. The San Carlos PD, you turned your back on your own people. That's a quote. That's a quote from Emily. And Emily goes, "It's not just me, Katrina. There's an older woman that's next to her. The San Carlos PD, you turned your back on your own people. You're gonna go down like Diddy." And I'm not saying that everybody is bad. Of course not everybody is bad. There's a whole bunch of people that are involved. They want to do the right thing. They want to do the moral thing. They want to do what's the best. But there's so much corruption that they're afraid. And there's people that a lot of people are so poor. They don't even have enough money for food. She's telling me that a lot of people go hungry to bed. And in the home, she goes, "At least I always got my food. I always got my meals. But I wanted to be with my family. I wanted to be with my mom, especially her mom, and my little brother, and I think her grandmother, the Rez, Apache and Navajo." I discussed that. I talked about how there's something with the Apache and Navajo, like a beef. Languages, they have similar languages, often live together, share land together, but the disputes would be over land and water. And also the Hopi, Hopi. Okay, so I don't always understand. Look at what I'm using. The cover. I bought in more index cards. Can't find where I put them. So I'm using the paper. Always utilize everything. Okay. So, cause of death wasn't determined, or at least we don't know about it. We don't know. I could speculate, and then this way, when they find him, and they will, and when they find the people, and they will, because there's more than one person that abused her. There's more than one person responsible. So she had excessive wounds to her face, and I felt her cheekbones were cracked, especially on one side, even an eye socket. And that could be why I'm getting the headaches. I feel better now, though, so thank you to my spirit guides, and thank you, Emily. And head trauma. Where I was feeling the most amount of pain, and being an empath, we always feel it. It was my right side, right here, back here, like that was cracked. I felt like that was cracked, almost like John Bonet. When I channeled John Bonet, she had a similar. So they're gonna find out about the head trauma. Her mom was not told for a week, I believe. I thought it was a month, but it was a week that she was missing. Her dad is in prison, and something about her uncle, I have a question mark. Messed up, rusty red pickup truck, but also has a white van, or also drives a white van. I don't know if he owns it, but I feel like he owns the rusty red pickup. The white van has no windows, and it's just, they just showed me, like in Spirit World, the Gabby Petito van with Brian Dirty Laundry. They had a van, and it's that shape that I see. So I don't know if I'm just colliding that case, which that case has been solved. You know, Brian did it. Right. So but I don't know. I saw that van. Spirit kept showing me that, but they were like two houses, or two places that he lives, two vehicles that he drives. Some people think that they drove like on a train and maybe took a plane. I don't know. I don't get that. I get they just drove in a car or a truck, the red rusty truck, or the white van. Okay, this room, that room, bald, scary guy. Oh yeah, okay, so she was like, okay, when I got hit in the head, like to kind of knock her out, whenever she would try to come to, And she came to a couple of times, like 3 times. She was like, first I'm in this room, then I'm taken to that room. So she was like, this room, that room. I don't recognize the rooms. I've never been there. I want to go home. At least even just, she goes, I wish I didn't climb out the window. I wish I was still in the group home, because then I would at least know that I was going to be safe. So she definitely knew she wasn't safe anymore. And there's a bald, scary guy, and a girl or lady friend, she disappears. She goes, I was looking for that person that we drove with. She goes, because then I would feel a little bit safe, even though that she set me up, or they set me up. She just said 2. But she couldn't find her. She disappears, but when she's there, she won't help me. Cuffs? Cuffs? Like her hands are bound. She might even had ropes on her hands, because I see she's trying to get out them, and she knows that it's hurting her, but she doesn't care. She goes, even if I go like this, I might lose my hands. Oh my gosh. She was found, her body was found without her arms and hands. So I'm sure there was DNA on her hands, maybe on her wrists, and they didn't want the public to find that. Okay, so that's that paper. Yeah, Vera Cruz, Veronica Cruz, Vera Cruz, 2015, 15 years ago? Something about that. I was trying to figure out ages or numbers. That's why I was getting so many weird ages for this guy. Look at who aged out. Okay, yeah, so look at who aged out in the home. And I'm looking at these military boots, but they're not in the military. I see the black ones. You know, they have like a little bit of a heel. I feel like if he did any time in the military, he got kicked out. But he still keeps the... And I see like size 10. Maybe size 10 wide. Okay, so not particularly big. Okay, so look at who aged out. Then I see something at 33, 2010 to 2013. San Carlos Apache tribe. Okay. Sometimes I write down things like just to get the ball rolling. And again, I'm not doing this with cards. So I'm going strictly off of spirit and my psychic ability. Emily Pike, Emily Pike. Anything else? Tied up. I was tied up. I was hurt. You do this, and then I will drive you back. You do this, and then I will drive you back. But they didn't drive me back. And I said, I won't do that. They're on a highway. Evidence is in a computer and phones. But a lot of stuff was erased because of the cover-up. FBI can find it. Talking about it in a text. Talking about things in a text or on Reddit, or there's another forum, not Reddit, but what's that other forum? You guys would know. I never go on it, but it's like Reddit. People put it in the comments, please. It's some kind of thing that you can go on and try to be invisible. Emily, 2 black eyes. I'm so sorry. 2 black eyes. And the one cheekbone was really bad. Cuts to the head and the face. Trauma that you don't come back from. And I'm so sorry. And it references JonBenét. Look at the injuries of JonBenét Ramsey. She had a lot of head injuries that were never explained. Okay, so you could be like kind of in a semi-coma state, but you don't come back from it because it hurts your brain. Okay. He's a chameleon. I see the trailer very in the desert. A trailer's in the desert, but he doesn't live there all the time. Tries not to leave any kind of like trail, but there is something. It might be a grandmother or an aunt. There is one woman that is like motherly to him, but I don't feel like he grew up with her. Has 2 homes, drives 2 vehicles, but I don't think he owns them. Okay, Emily, find Emily's ex-roommate. Yeah, Emily's ex-roommate from the group home. Find their roommate who aged out of the system. The one who told the police that Emily was meeting up with the 14-year-old boy, guitar player. Then you will find the killers. Are 2 male and 1 female close to the group home. In other words, they have something to do with the group home. And I told you, I felt like let's say the man with the black spiky hair, the main person, I felt like he was holding on crates, with these plastic crates that had fruits and vegetables, delivering them. And he might be involved with the store that's across the street from the home, or the store that Emily went to. Okay. So, the one who told the police that Emily was meeting up with the 14-year-old boy. Then you will find the killers. Are 2 males, 1 female, close to the group home. Vera Veronica Cruz has also been missing since 2024, but nobody wants to talk about it. Everybody says leave it alone. So has she been found? Then some people say in the news clips, they say, oh, Veronica Cruz has been found, but leave her alone because she's gonna almost be 18. Well, when she was missing, she was only 17. And what happened to her? Okay, so I'll leave it there because I am not FBI agent. Okay, so Uncle, I watched the interview of Uncle Allred Pike Jr. and Mary Kim Tilla, and I have numbers. If you have any information, I have these numbers. Okay. 928-200-2352. 928-200-2352. Or you can call Organization of Indian Affairs, 505-917-7830. Okay. She goes, that number is the better number. 505-917-7830. 77830. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit tired, but I know this will be backwards. Let me show you. This might be showing backwards. So what I'll do is I will take a picture of it and put it as the thumbnail. Group home management, I'm just trying to go home to see my mom. And she did say dad, but I'm pretty sure that dad was in prison. 100 miles from the group home she was found, driving about an hour and a half, or 1 to 2 hours. Yeah, so I feel like she was only driving from 1 to 2 hours. And they went to one place. I don't think they all went in, just like brought out food, trying to act like, kind of like, oh yeah, we're going to be good to you. You just do this, then I'll drive you back. And she's like, I'm not doing that. And you shouldn't have taken me here. Group home, medical issues. Yeah, she had medical issues, bipolar, behavioral issues because of what happened to her. But then she was on medication, I think, for depression. She tried to kill herself several times. One time she I think tried to hang herself with shoelaces. Another time they found her in the closet. She definitely cut herself several times, and I'm not going to talk about it. It's depression, and it's that bad voice. She says, she goes, you know, Katrina, you know. And I do know. Unfortunately, you have to always try to not think in the bad thoughts, not think that there's no hope, that tomorrow can be definitely better than today. Okay, or maybe next week will be better than this week. Okay, so hands-off group home. Yeah, why are the hands-off group home? Why is nobody... I think they are interviewing the group home. So I'll leave that alone. Group home has more answers, and FBI surveillance. I think there's surveillance that's the FBI has. And again, I got the rabbit. I don't know if it was because it was around Easter. Navajo. I kept hearing Navajo, Navajo, Navajo. Here's the picture that I drew, the terrible picture that I drew, but that's who I was seeing, and it's frightening. Okay, and let me just say, I could be wrong. Of course I could be wrong. Emily Pike, 3 people, a serial killer, 2 other people, dismembering, thrown away in garbage bags. Her birthday was May 16th, 2010. She's a beautiful Taurus. February 2025 is when they found her. Young life. I tried to walk, then run away. She wants that to be known. Tribal police, 3 suspects. That's what the mother had said, and then everybody debunked it. Well, a lot of people debunked it. But I kind of believe her mother. Of course I believe her mother. She's like, yeah, Katrina, you got to believe my mother, and you got to believe me. Yeah. So I got 3 suspects without even knowing that the mother said they have 3 suspects. Now the police say we have 0 suspects. Oh, really? We have 0 suspects? Nobody did this? She just ended up in garbage bags with her arms and her hands missing? I don't think so, pal. Okay. Full build. Now I'm talking about the jerk off. A full build, strong, can get a bit chunky in the belly, but then gets rid of it. I see him exercising like in a small space, not in a gym, like in a small space. He's got to get strong. He's lifting up things to get strong. Changes his hair, his face, thick black hair when he has it, but he could change it. A goatee, but probably cut it off. It'll all be shaved, probably, so there might be a hair. Emily, is there hair? Did you get any of his hair? She goes, Katrina, maybe in the bags. Those bags, those industrial bags, they come from like stores, They come from like big places, like construction workers will have those bags. Okay. All right, that's for another time. She's telling me something, but I'm not ready to talk about it. I'll have to write it down. Okay, changes his hair, his face, thick black hair, goatee, but could all be shaved. Crates of veggies. I talked about the crates. The crate, and I'll tell you the colors, because when I went into school, the teacher had these pretty crates up on the shelf, and they were all like pastel colors, like pink and yellow and blue and like a powder blue. These crates are gray, black, I don't think white, gray and black, I see. Like, they're not a pretty color. They're like, and they're very heavy and big, so that they hold a lot, right? I don't know why this car is like kind of looking at me. So, did I say everything on here? Yeah, he could be 20s, 30s, but could even sometimes look like he's 40 something. But definitely late 20s. He lied to me, she said. He lied to me, and they wouldn't let me out or go home. They. Okay? So don't forget. We're talking about 3 people. One woman or girl lured her in. Trauma to the face and head trauma, SA, physical abuse. I think I said that one already. Indigenous. So she's indigenous. Those are people who were there before colonization of the establishment of modern nations and states. The Mesa, Arizona, February 14, Valentine's Day, going to see a boy and going back to see her mom and dad. But her dad was in prison, so her mom. But she keeps saying dad. So did the mom have a boyfriend? Did she have a stepfather? Or somebody she called dad? You let me know, Emily. Okay? And yeah, I got this the first day. It was like she was trying to show me a symbol. At first I thought it was a dream catcher. And then, doesn't look like a dream catcher. Looks like something. Maybe it's something she saw. Mesa, Arizona. I'm probably saying it incorrectly, but I will definitely put the numbers on as the thumbnail so that you guys could all see the numbers. And I love you very much. Hopefully, I know that Emily is in the light and in heaven with the best mother and father, with God, Jesus, and Mother Mary, and all her ancestors. Yeah, and you know, in times like this, we say, you know, I was going to go to the store, but I might not go to the store. In times like this, we often say, you know, like, if people's ancestors and angels are around you, why aren't they protecting you? But they are. It's just that they can't prevent people from doing their own will. We have free will. That's including, you know, serial killers and bad people, and just people who are on the fence and just, you know, or sick people, or people who are drunk or drug addicts, often do things. But the person that did this to Emily, it's not just because of drugs. There's something wrong with their mind. And like I reference you to Steven Stearns. So if you never saw a picture of him, please go see a picture of his and focus on from his nose up. Right here. Eyes. I love you all. Namaste. I hope this helps. Please share it.